What if there's a version of you that has never once felt anxious, rushed, or behind, and you could touch it? Just for a moment. Right now. Stay with me. Because we're going to do exactly that, including a guided meditation at the end. Here's what I want to explore with you. There's a rare kind of moment, you've probably had one, where the ordinary noise of your life goes quiet, and something underneath it becomes briefly, unmistakably clear. It's not spiritual. It's not a practice you have to learn. It's the discovery that beneath all the thinking and the striving and the low-grade managing of everything, there's a stillness in you that was never actually missing. And even a glimpse of it, 30 seconds of real contact, quietly changes the way you move through the rest of your day. So let's start on a Tuesday. Not a special Tuesday, a Tuesday that feels exactly like every other Tuesday. Laptop open, coffee going cold beside you, that low-grade hum of things undone humming underneath everything you do. You're not unhappy. Exactly. You're just running. There's a soundtrack in your head narrating what still needs to happen. What someone said in a meeting. What you should have said back. What's on the calendar tomorrow. And then, for no particular reason, you step outside for 60 seconds. Just to breathe. And for a moment, the commentary stops. The to-do list doesn't disappear, it just recedes. You notice the quality of the light on the pavement, the temperature of the air on your arms. And something quietly registers. This feeling right here, this small, uncomplicated okayness, is what you've been trying to manufacture with every vacation, every promotion, every weekend plan. It was here the whole time. Then your phone buzzes and you walk back inside. But something faint and real has landed. So let's name what's actually happening on that Tuesday, because most of us have never been given permission to see it clearly. The life you're building, the career moves, the optimization, the plans for later, a good portion of it is an elaborate strategy to reach a feeling of okay, of settled, of finally being able to exhale. And you assume the reason you don't have that feeling yet is because you haven't accomplished enough, earned enough, arranged enough. So you keep going. But on the sidewalk for those 60 seconds, something exposes the strategy. The feeling was available without any of it, which means the thing standing between you and rest wasn't the incomplete to-do list. It was the running commentary about the to-do list. The mental narration, the planning, the replaying, the low-key worrying that never actually solves anything but never stops running either. That noise is the only thing between you and the underneath. Not your job. Not your inbox. Not the fact that you haven't figured your whole life out yet. Just the noise. Here's the image I want you to hold. Imagine you've been living inside a house where every window is covered. Not because it's dark outside, it's actually a bright day, but because you forgot the coverings were there. You've lived with them so long they just look like walls. You've adjusted. You've made the interior work. What happens on that Tuesday sidewalk is that someone, very briefly, lifts the edge of one curtain. You don't have to move in somewhere new. You don't have to redecorate. You just see, for maybe 2 seconds, that light was pressing in from outside the whole time. And here's the thing about seeing that. Even once, you can't fully unsee it. From that point on, when you're back inside the house, going about your day, Some part of you knows the light is still there behind the coverings. You start to relate to every covered window a little differently. Not because you're trying to. Because you know, this is what I want you to understand. Stillness isn't the reward you get once you've handled everything. It's not something you earn by finishing your inbox or fixing your relationships or getting your body in order. It's a layer of experience that's already available underneath all the doing. The doing doesn't create it. The doing just tends to cover it. Now here's where I want to be really practical. Because this is the part that usually gets lost in vaguely spiritual language. Genuine contact with that quieter layer isn't mystical. It's not a special state reserved for people who've meditated for 20 years. It's a shift in attention that takes about 60 seconds and leaves a real trace. The move is smaller than you think. It's not about clearing your mind, you can't, and trying just adds more noise. It's about, for a moment, stopping the performance. Stopping the managing, not fixing anything. Not planning the next thing, just briefly letting your attention rest on something actual, the weight of your body in the chair, the sound in the room, the fact that you are, right now, breathing without having to remember to. And here's the part that surprises people. When you stop performing and stop managing, even for an instant, you don't fall apart. Nothing collapses. The to-do list is still there when you come back to it. You just land somewhere. Somewhere solid. Somewhere that was underneath the whole time. And this is the turn. This is the part that changes how you think about all of this. A single moment of real quiet doesn't stay contained in that moment. It carries into the next conversation, where you notice you're actually listening instead of half composing your response. It carries into the next decision, which feels a click less urgent. It carries into your face, the way your face looks when someone is telling you something hard. Softer. More available. You're not doing anything different. You're moving through the day from a slightly different center of gravity. The Tuesday looks like every other Tuesday from the outside. Inside, something is quietly rearranged. This is why the moment on the sidewalk matters, not because it was profound. It wasn't. It was 60 seconds of noticing air and light. It matters because having touched that layer once, you're less convinced by the story that you can only feel okay after everything is handled. You start to suspect, correctly, that the okay was underneath the whole time, and the handling was mostly a strategy to reach what was already available. So here's what I want to leave you with before we do the meditation. You don't have to fix everything before you're allowed to feel okay. That's the sentence I want you to sit with. Not because everything doesn't matter, it does. But because the belief that you have to earn your way to rest is the exact thing keeping you from noticing that rest is already, quietly, available underneath. The curtain lifts, and lifts again, and lifts again. Each time, the house you're living in feels a little less like a sealed room and a little more like a place with windows. You still have your Tuesday. You still have your inbox, but the texture of it changes. It gets a little lighter, not because the load got smaller, but because you're carrying it from a different place. And all of that starts, genuinely starts, with something as small as 60 seconds of actually being where you are. Let's do that now. If you'd like more teachings and guided practices like this, you can like the video and subscribe. And now, we'll move into a short guided meditation. Let's begin by letting your body settle into wherever you are. You don't have to sit a particular way. Just let your weight drop into the chair, or the floor, or the bed. Let your shoulders come down a little. Let your jaw soften, and notice that you're breathing. You didn't have to arrange it. It's happening. Just follow one breath in and one breath out. Nothing to fix. Nothing to reach for. You've already arrived. Notice the sounds in the room. The small ones underneath the obvious ones. Notice the temperature of the air on your skin. The places where your body meets something solid. This is what's actually here, right now. Underneath the story of the day. And if the mental commentary starts up, the planning, the replaying, just let it happen in the background. You don't have to stop it. You don't have to follow it either. Let it be like weather, moving somewhere off to the side. Come back to the breath. Come back to the weight of the body. Remember that image of the covered window. You're not doing anything dramatic right now. You're just letting the edge of the curtain lift a little. And underneath, there's a quiet that was here before you sat down. That will be here after you get up. It doesn't need you to protect it. It doesn't need you to earn it. Just rest here for a moment. Nothing to become. Nothing to figure out. Just this breath. Just this body. Just the fact of being here. And notice, you didn't fall apart. You stopped managing for a moment, and something solid was underneath. It always was. Stay for a few more breaths. Let this layer of yourself get a little more familiar. And when you're ready, without hurry, let your attention widen back out to the room. Feel your hands. Feel your feet. Carry a little of this quiet with you. It's not going anywhere. It's the part of you that was never actually missing. Thank you for practicing with us today. If you'd like, there's a link to a free digital copy of ACIM in the description. And if this video resonated with you, please comment. I am grateful. Thank you for spending this time here. Whatever brought you to this video today, I'm glad you stayed. Try to be gentle with yourself as you move back into the rest of your day, the Tuesday, the inbox, the ordinary. The quiet you just touched is still there. Underneath all of it. It'll be waiting the next time you look. Take care.